feel? Jenna, head coach Scott Rueck. Scott, your opening statement.
Yeah, well, it was a good basketball game, and so give Colorado State a ton of credit. They played really good, really tough, good, made good adjustments. Obviously in the first quarter, things were just coming so easy. Maybe it was just false. I don't know what it was, but the game changed. It was almost weird how it changed in that first quarter, and then we just couldn't get rhythm back after that. I felt like they were kind of in control the way that they were executing on both ends of the floor. And then, when we did make our runs, they answered them. And so that's what good teams do, and so give them a ton of credit. Great crowd, fun night in Gill, other than losing.
Obviously, some frustration with the fouls from the bench, the team on the floor, yourself. What'd you make of how they were calling that? Obviously, you both finished with 14 there.
I got no clue, man. I got no clue. Officials, you're at their mercy. They control every game with what they're going to decide to call and not. And it was frustrating because it was different. It seemed all the time. And so, what can you do? Just try to overcome it. And we weren't good enough tonight to overcome it.
Jenna, career high for you. How'd that feel? And obviously 40 minutes on the court, you tired, worn out after that one? Or?
Yeah, it feels good, but, win feels better. So that's all I got to say about that.
And Scott, what did you make of the fact that, Jenna was able to carry the load offensively given, some of the other players maybe were in foul trouble or, weren't able to contribute?
That's who she is. That's what... we played against for 2 years. That's what I know her to be. She's a warrior, tough, and she's been through the battles. She's been in lots of big games, and so the team needed her, and she stepped up, and I know she's capable of that. And it's been, interesting and kind of fascinating from my perspective, knowing what she's capable of and watching her pick her spots, as she's fitting into this group. And I think she's doing a really nice job of that and finding her way. And I'm doing the same. I'm figuring out different ways to use her. And that's the puzzle that this team is right now, is like who can do what. And we had lots of weird lineups out there, and Jenna was that, just steady presence throughout this game that we were able to count on.
And obviously, no coach likes turnovers. That's something that first couple of games is popped up in some stretches normal for this time of the season, but What are you seeing there in terms of, ways that you guys can limit that?
Yeah. Well, we've played a couple extreme examples. Air Force just pressured you, so hard and put so much pressure on every dribble, every pass, and forced us into turnovers. This team's, they've got some of that, of course, because they get after you too, but they just help so aggressively. And so that was an extreme opposite look, where they just did everything to take the rim away from us, couldn't get deep catches, and when we put it on the floor, they collapsed so well. 14 is a winnable number. It's a winnable number. I've seen worse. And so, they only had 6 though, and so that was a huge part of the game, unfortunately, for us, but there's good tape and good film to learn from, and their style tests your toughness. They really get after you. They take great angles. They are physical as a group. And so our toughness was tested tonight. And what we saw against Illinois, where we had to rise to it, maybe the way the game started kind of tricked us or something, because we weren't quite as tough in this game overall, like ball control, driving straight lines and that type of thing, as we were against Illinois, I thought. And, that consistency will need to continue to grow, and it'll be there. I have full confidence in this group.
You went deep into your toolbox of wings tonight, Scott. What were you looking for?
It's a good question. Well, I don't know if I was necessarily looking for something specific. I was just trying to figure out whose night it was. You can tell when people are locked in on the defensive end of the floor, and we had a pretty simple scout in this one. Not an easy scout, but a simple scout. And we had a lot of mistakes in that first half on just what our game plan was and what was happening from an execution standpoint. And so I was looking for who was locked in, who was just going to deliver, on the defensive end of the floor in particular, and so I just kept searching. and that was kind of the case all night tonight, was just searching for a lineup, searching. And so the start was so good, and then after that, I couldn't find it in completion, not quite, but we had great moments. And I thought, our two freshmen, Kira and Katie, did such a good job with their angles in, the first big minutes that they've played. And they've been grinding so hard every day, and I believe in them. It's just be ready for your chance, and they both proved tonight that they're ready for that. I was impressed.
So, Katie, it was your opportunity. How did it feel to get out there and to compete at this level? I know you would have liked a different outcome, but given your first opportunity, how did it feel?
It felt really good, and I think I just tried to give whatever the team needed me to do.
And Jenna, 10 against Air Force the other night, a career high tonight. It feels like you're starting to find your place. Is that true, that you're starting to find it? And is it the place that maybe you thought it was before you started playing real games, or is it somewhat different once you get into it and find out what's actually happening against opponents?
Yeah, I think I'm finding my rhythm a little bit and just learning when I need to be aggressive and when I just need to move it and keep the offense flowing. But I think I knew it was going to be my role, but it was just different, and just have to learn and keep continuing to grow every day and just, keep being aggressive.
Katie, your first kind of big minutes, you had that block 3 as well. Just kind of walk me through kind of what happened on that play there in the game.
My role in that situation was to get back and not allow layups or any open threes, so I thought I should just block the shot and take on my role and do what I'm meant to do.
And then Scott, I know you were talking about more of the consistency. Obviously, you're gonna sit with a loss tonight and then kind of flush it, go on to Sunday. What's the biggest thing that you would take away from this game that you would go into Long Beach State with as a big area of improvement going forward?
I don't know if there's one thing. I think offensive execution, is a big one. And there's just some lost possessions we have that we don't need. So I just think we need more reps. The scout is important because we got to kind of guess where the game's going to go so we can focus on certain aspects. This is not easy, what we're doing. This is super hard. And teams are just coached so well. That you've got to be able to adjust on the fly, and that's a challenge for us right now. It's just like holding hands, trying to, get everything situated right and get the reads right and all that at this point of the year, and play around, in some cases weaknesses and try to, overcome them. So for me, it's just like looking at the next game and, and just making sure we're spending time on the right things. And that's the art right now of coaching. But it's true. Is it still November?
Yeah.
It's still November. And so this one, sucks to lose, but what can you do? On to the next. I know this group is full of competitors, and they'll be ready to go. And I guess maybe we needed this. I don't know, but like I've said, everything's a win with proper perspective, and so it's our job collectively to turn this into a win tonight.
Yeah, Coach, how has the rotation changed with the early fouls to Schuler and the injury to Nene?
Yeah, 3 fouls to your point in the second quarter. That's a tough one, and kind of throws off just your rotation, and then for Nene to get her second as well. She's so imposing at the rim that changes things a little bit. With our depth, we're able to, I think, sustain over that. But we did have some weird lineups tonight, where I was like, okay, what can we run with this group? Does she know that play? Does she know that play at that position? And so we were scrambling tonight for a lot of the game, and so it just spun it out for 4 minutes. Second half it wasn't an issue, but the end of that second quarter where we did have some control, probably did slow us a bit.
Was Nene playing with any injury tonight after the first couple
It
minutes?
seemed like she tweaked something. I don't know. She came out for a stretch, but then I was told she was fine, and so it appears that she's okay. And I thought she played normally in the second half.
when we talked before the season began, I asked if you'd taken a look at any of your future Pac-12 rivals. You've gotten a look at a couple of them now this first couple of weeks. What's just the sense of what maybe these two programs bring to the new Pac-12, especially this Colorado State squad? Looks like they might be a fun one to add into the mix in the new Pac-12.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you got a couple old coaches. I know that. And so we've been around a while. I don't know how old Ryan is actually, but I know it's not his first rodeo. And so from what I've seen, it's well coached. We haven't played everybody, but I think the influx of more resource, the focus on our sport in particular, is only going to make everybody better and better. And so I think it's going to be a great basketball conference, both men and women. And so I've been obviously impressed by the Rams. 2 years in a row now, we've come up short. And so, yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Before we go, would like to give a huge shout out to Coach Eric Eli, because it's his birthday today. And so, happy birthday, Eric.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go Beavs.
Thanks for being here.